Oh yeah, YouTube just went live.
Perfect.
Waiting
All
on
right,
to go.
welcome to the Mason Plumlee Show.
The Mason Plumlee Show. I like that.
All right, we're
Brought to
live
you-
on YouTube. We are live on X. No, I'm getting a this broadcast is not available on X here. Hold on.
Oh. Figure it out.
For those joining us on YouTube, we are experimenting with playback TV today. So just bear with us while we figure this out. I promise it's going to be a good investment.
It's true.
And we have Tim.
How do
joining us.
Okay.
Oh,
How do
hey.
I look at that one? That's just on? It's on YouTube and this at the same time?
Yeah.
Damn, we're so fancy now. I love this. We can fucking figure this thing out, man. It's gonna be awesome.
I mean, it already is awesome. It's just going to be more awesome.
More awesome. It'll reach Mason Plumlee levels.
I feel like we could probably get Mason Plumlee on this show. What do you think?
I'd be super down to give that a go. Speaking of giving him a go, dude, he didn't hit last game, which means, and we went heavy on a bunch of stuff, which means there's no question he's coming back tonight with a fury.
He got to run it back.
He also missed like 4 open layups.
So many shots. So many shots.
How are we looking on Twitter?
I don't know. I'm showing it in the producer studio. It's showing it, and I can hear it. But when I'm on our Twitter page here, our X page, it's coming up as this broadcast is not available.
Oh no, it's broadcasting.
You're on our X page?
Yep, we're live.
Okay.
Oh, perfect. Look at that.
See it?
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Why don't you kick it off, Tom?
Oh, there it is. All right. Prop the mic. We're live. I think we've got all the technical difficulties past us now. And we're here for a special show, our first show on Playback. Brought special guest and PTM contributor extraordinaire Tim Trad on to discuss some NHL picks. Is this the first NHL picks we've ever given out on Prop the Mic?
I love that. We've been crushing them in the Discord, so it's good to get it. You know, the only sport that matters right now with soccer being off and baseball dominating. You won't notice a theme of me hating on baseball every single time we talk about it. I promise. But no, we've got 2 incredible matchups tonight. Playoff hockey is a different breed. If you're new to hockey and you haven't watched it, playoff hockey is the time. The hits go up by like exponentially. The speed. There's a little bit less fighting, but there's so much energy. It's a different sport. It's so much fun. And there's 2 incredible matchups tonight.
Love that. Yeah, Tom and I think we put out 1 NHL pick this whole season. It was like when NBA was
All-Star break.
Yeah, and we lost it. So we're 0-1 on NHL. So we're heavily dependent on you for this one.
We can fix that, man. There's Vegas and Dallas, and then the team from Nashville is still alive, and then we've got one of my favorite teams to bet on, which is up in Vancouver. There's a couple of players that run through. Do you want to start with NHL? Or do you want to start with your NBA and move to it later?
I think we'll start with NBA and then we'll finish off with the ice.
Oh yeah.
Just one other plug for Playback. So the reason why we're going the route of broadcasting through Playback today, and then simulcasting to 50 other streams, is Playback's got a really cool feature where you can actually broadcast games. So we're going to do our podcast here. We're going to experiment with that, but then we're also going to try to do some live game watch parties. Start with the NBA and then maybe expand to other sports. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. So definitely sign up on playback.tv /prop the mic if you want to join those watch parties with us. All right.
Nice.
Enough promotion. Let's put some content out here. Tom, you ready to dive into the NBA slate here?
I do. I'm seeing an error message on YouTube. So about a keyframe frequency. So I don't know. I think our YouTube feed might not be working. Yeah.
That's fine. we can always post it up there later.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start off with the Cavs and the Magic. Cavs are leading that series 3-2. Magic are -3.5 favorites at home. Total in this game is a pathetic 200.5, like every playoff game. Although the Magic have never really been a high total team. They
Cavs
play good.
too.
Yeah, the Cavs too. They both play good defense. I have to say, as a fan watching this series, it's hard to watch. It's pretty atrocious. So,
Yeah, what's up with playoff basketball turning into like playoff hockey elevates? Playoff basketball feels like it the totals have been really low. I guess just going based on total score.
I think the game
Slows down.
quality. Yeah, the game quality is okay. Like, the games are competitive. At least certain series are. This one not so much, but the amount of scoring is just dropped. I think we put out an analysis on X the other day. The scoring in the playoffs year over year is down 13, almost 13 points per game. So definitely the officials are officiating differently this year than they were last year, calling less touch fouls. That's leading to less foul shots. So I don't know if that actually makes the game worse, because who really wants to watch a bunch of guys on the free throw line? But it certainly isn't good for over bets. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So just talking about this series, like I said, the Cavs are up 3-2. Most of these games have been blowouts. Cavs won the first game by 14, second game by 10. Magic won the third game by 38 points. The next game, I think the Magic won by 23. Cavs won the last game by 1 point. So it wasn't until game 5 that this series was competitive. So I'm going to start off before we even dive into player props. You guys have a feeling? Does this series get extended to 7 games, or is this over after tonight?
No, this is going 7. You got Magic back at home. This is going to be I don't know if it'll be a classic series, but I think this one's got 7 games written all over it.
I think if the Cavs want to do anything in the playoffs after that, they got to end it and move on. I see Jared Allen as a game time decision. I imagine he'll do everything to play, but if they go to 7, I feel like their season's over, regardless if they lose that game or whatever the next. Yeah, I mean the Cavs have to go up and really get it done.
Yeah. These two teams in general, I just feel are like a notch below everyone else who's left in the playoffs. So
I don't need to get knocked out.
Yeah, I don't see either of them doing a whole lot after this series, but I agree with Tom. I do see I could see Jared Allen sitting out tonight, because if he's hurt still, it's not the worst thing in the world for them to get him healthy and then win game 7. So I have a little angle on that later when we talk about player props. But I agree. I think Magic take this one. I think the Magic could win by 10, 15 points tonight too. It could be one of those again.
Yeah. I'm also with Tim in that if the Magic do win tonight and extend the series, I think I'll be on them in game 7 as well, in Cleveland. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they haven't won a game in Cleveland yet.
I know.
All right, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, so let's pull up props.cash. We'll dive into some player props. Tom, you want to start us off with something that you like?
Yeah, PTM. What is he? Is the PTM Hall of Fame one of the guys? Definitely last season for sure. Franz Wagner. This dude is just amazing at home. So his point line is 19.5. It's -110 on FanDuel. If we look at home games this season, when he's played 36 plus minutes, he should be good for. I would assume he's playing 38, 39, 40 minutes at least in this game tonight. But we'll look at him with 36 plus minutes, 5 for 5 this season at home. 13 of his last 14 games dating back to last season at home when he's played 36 plus minutes. If you remember, he had that awesome game 4 at home with 34 points. And I don't know what it is about playing, the scoring between him and Banchero when they're at home. Did that lie? What? Yeah, you got to home. Put his home splits on.
Oh, put the home splits up there too.
Yeah.
A home split.
Ooh, look at that.
Look at that, and then go back to last season as well. Click on 22-23. Look at that.
Wow.
And now click on away so that you can see the difference there. Now just because you have two guys that are going to do the scoring on this team, right? It's either going to be a Franz game or a Paolo game, right? So do the same thing. Pull up Banchero and do the same thing. Put home 36 minutes. I just want you to just see why I'm on this play, given that these are the two scorers for this team. Slide that up to 36 there.
All right. Oh,
Now
wow.
look at that. Look at that. Now click him to away. So a little bit better. But at home, I don't know what it is. So Franz has it. Obviously, his Banchero's line's a little bit higher, but I love Franz in this spot. Nice bounce back. Looking for a repeat of what he did in game 4. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I will point out before we go to finish that conversation while we got Paolo up there, I will point out every game that he's played this season above 37 plus minutes. It would take out this one game right here. He's and this game, Banchero has scored 19 points. So just even though I wouldn't necessarily play his 24.5, if you want to play him as part of a builder, I think Banchero for 19 points is a really nice leg.
Great call.
So
great call.
Okay, back to Franz. Tim, you got a thought on Mr. Wagner?
I trust you. I mean, if he was playing with Mason, I think he'd have a better chance. But since he's stuck in Florida, no, I like the data, man. Like a lot of my betting is other than Mason, of course, is with not with the heart. And when you see that much green and that much discrepancy, and they got to win the game. So who are they going to turn to, him or Paolo, right?
And he does play with two other Blue Devils. I mean, he's got another, two bigs from Duke there as well, and Banchero and Carter. So I think
which normally we would hate. Yeah, but with Mason Plumlee, he's turned things around since the Christian Laettner days.
Yeah, I think he's in a good spot, and I also think I think his minutes have been conservative. Tom and I were looking at this before we went live. He played 37 minutes in last game.
37, 38.
You were using 36. This is a do or die game. So even though the Magic are deep and they have guys behind them, I could see some of these starters finally getting pushed above 40 minutes tonight.
Yes.
And I think that's only upside for a play like this. So I like it. I think he either scores like 22 to 24 or scores like 14. So I think that's kind of where he's going to land tonight. But I think I like the over there.
Nice.
All right, cool. Anybody else on the Magic?
I don't know if you remember from last season, there was a common refrain that we kept going back to over and over again during the playoffs. And for some reason, we haven't brought it up yet. Maybe that's because we haven't been potting much until yesterday. But role players at home in the playoffs is something we targeted over and over last season. Guys like Malcolm Brogdon, those sorts of players. So let's look at Jonathan Isaac here. He's got a nice low point line at 6.5 points, minus 114 on FanDuel. He started this series in the starting rotation, right? So he played 28 minutes or something in game 1. We won't even look at that game. Since game 2 of the series, he's played about 18 to 19 minutes per game. And I think you'll see the same thing here again. When he's played, I put the filter down to 14 minutes. If you look at him with 14 plus minutes this season, he's cleared this point line of 6.5 in 16 of 20 home games, averaging almost 10 points per game, 9.3 points per game. So I think this is a great spot. They're going to need him out there. They need his defense. He's the best defender on the team. So I could even see him pushing up to that 24, 25-minute mark in this game possibly, just because of his defense and his rebounding. And I love that low point line for him. What do you guys think?
Yeah, he was one of the guys that I wrote down. I think it's a super low point line.
Yeah.
I think what's worth also looking behind this is he's been bombing threes in this series too, right? He's not really known as a 3-point shooter, but in this series, 2-1, 2, 4, and 1. So he could easily go out there and put up 2 threes, and you get 6 out of your 6.5 points right there. So
I'm smiling because Dave and I had a discussion yesterday that he was done with betting on made threes, and then he brings it up right here. So
I'm not suggesting the made threes.
Okay, all right.
What is his points plus rebounds? That's my question.
Yeah. We were
I
on
think
that earlier in the series. Yeah.
I think it's a good
I like
take.
him
It's
for, like,
11
8
and a
points.
half. Mhm.
Yeah, I like him at 8 points tonight. I think that's
Yeah.
safe. So the 6.5 is beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give you a reason to watch the Orlando Magic play basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, the other upside that we didn't talk about yet is Wendell Carter is is constantly in foul trouble. So there's a good possibility that he could come out of there, foul Jared Allen or Mobley twice, and Isaac's just added 5 more minutes of playing time to his game.
Yep.
So I think 6.5 is ridiculously low for this guy. He's
Yes,
playing really well.
I love this play. Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
he averages 6.8 on the season.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
wonderful. And he should see 20 minutes. Yeah, I like that a lot.
All right. Anybody else on the Magic, Tom?
Nope. That's all the plays I have in this game. I actually was not on any Cleveland guys here.
All right.
I don't like anything over. I mean, I'm from Ohio. I want Cleveland to win, but I'm not loving what we've been seeing
Yeah.
from a betting standpoint, at least.
Yeah, I would say the only other ones that were popping out on the Cleveland side were maybe I don't think Donovan Mitchell's in a great spot for scoring tonight, but I do think rebounding might be a good opportunity for him. His line is 4.5 rebounds, minus 122. You can see over the last 4 games, he's had 8, 5, 1, and 6. Again, Jared Allen not being in the game, I'm sure helps, at least on that 6. But I do, the Magic are, if you look on props.cash, Magic are #1 team in rebounding defense, right? They don't give up a lot of rebounds, but the one position that they do give up a lot of rebounds to is the opposing guards. So guys like Darius Garland, guys like Donovan Mitchell, they're actually in good position to rebound. Guys like Mobley and Allen, they're actually not great spots, even though Mobley and Allen have done pretty well in this series. So I think maybe Mitchell at 4.5 rebounds might be a good spot. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, sorry, I was just playing with the YouTube thing here. Yeah, go ahead, Tim.
I just said I see a lot of red. That scares me.
Yeah.
I'll have like 12 because I said that. That's what he does.
Let's just look in the. Yeah, I mean, these were earlier in the season and last year, so
Yeah, that makes sense.
Goes pretty far back. Yeah, it's more of a lean than a play. I think it's it could be all right.
I support it.
The other guy I would say that might be worth looking at, maybe as a leg for parlay. I think Evan Mobley, I was mentioning on the intro. I feel like Jared Allen won't play. If I was managing that team and he's still dealing with like a rib injury, in a game where you're probably going to lose, like putting him out there where you might actually regress, like they need to be thinking about obviously closing the series, but they have the opportunity to go with multiple days more rest for this guy back home to try to close it out. I feel like there's a good chance he won't play. And if that's the case, then Mobley, I think, is in a great spot. With that said, his line is conveniently placed at 14.5. And this guy is a 14-point machine. If you just look at him, this is 14. It's 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14. How many people's hearts did he break on these? Probably at a 14.5 point line.
Every time.
15-point builder. There you go.
He's cleared. He's cleared in 49% of games at 14.5, and 67% of games at 13.5. So again, potential builder. You could put Mobley 14 points and Bencaro at 19 points and get over plus 100 odds. I think it was close to plus 100 for that. So that's one of the plays I'm going to put out in the Discord after this.
Nice. Can you click on his actual line just over this series? I'm just curious to see if if we could read anything into possibly Allen playing or not. So it's ticked back up there.
Yeah, which would kind of indicate Allen not playing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah, this is a cool feature on Props.cash. You can see the historical lines. So you just hit this actual line button, and then it shows you the trend on the player's prop line over whatever period you're looking at. So this is the playoffs right here. We can also just filter this down to playoffs. and 2023. So you can see over the 5 games in this series, he kind of started here, went up, down, and now he's back up to 14.5. So, but yeah, I think Evan Mobley, 14 points as part of a builder. Maybe put him with Ben Carroll for 19 points. That'll get you a good play. All right,
like that.
All right, cool. Let's move on to the next game. Clippers and Mavs. Also game 6. Mavs lead the series 3-2 after taking game 5 from the Clippers on the road. Mavs are -7.5 favorites in this game, and the total's 208.5. Again, a lot of these games were blowouts. Game 2 was a 3-point game, and game 4 was a 5-point game. Other than that, they were all 10+ point games. So I'll start again asking you guys, Tim, who do you like in this one?
Here we go. All the joking aside, Mason Plumlee will get 15, 16, maybe 18 minutes. And he's an assist machine. Last year when he was a starter, absolute wagon for the 1.5. His assist, one single assist, pull up his assists in the last 10 and then change the time to like 15 to 16 up to maybe 18 minutes. I think it's like 80% with only 3 of them being 1 assist games. Now, the last game against Dallas, he played 16 minutes. He went 1 for 6 shooting, 3 points, 5 rebounds. Didn't have an assist. When he doesn't have an assist, I'm assuming that they miss shots because he's passing. He's looking to assist. So one of my smacks for tonight is just him 1 assist or greater at -110, -115, depending on the book. I absolutely love it. He's not going to go two games back to back and not have an assist. Now, the thing I like at that same minutes is the 7.5 points plus rebounds. Again, he went 1 for 6 last game. He's going to take some shots. Give him 6 shots tonight. I think he makes 2 or 3, gets fouled, gets those points, 5 or 6 points, and he still has his 3 to 5 rebounds that he's good for. I know he's right on that 7 line, but even that 8 that he had there last game, shot like shit, rebounded a little less than normal. So I like that almost as much. I just feel like that single assist could happen, as soon as he comes in. And
that could not be more of a Dave play right there. The 1 assist for Mason Plumlee. Like, I just see his face lighting up. That's got his name written all over it.
Yeah.
If you give me one occurrence at almost even money, you know what I mean? I absolutely love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
No waiting on
Clint Capella, Zubac. Who else do we like? Any of those guys. Centers with 1 assist is probably one of my favorite plays.
I love a 7-footer assist for sure. And he's known to do it throughout his career. I think he's an underrated. Yes, he's got a lot of downside for some things that people talk about. His free throws. He went 1 for 6, missed some layups. But when he's in charge of the starting lineup for his team, that dude, when he gets comfortable, watching him on the Hornets it was free money. So I had to buy that jersey from him last year because he did it so much.
Can you give the quick story as to why you have an unhealthy obsession with Mason Plumlee?
Well, it started with props.cash. I just looked for anomalies in the data, and I just kept finding. I was like, this dude always hits 2 assists, and his line's always 1.5. So we started hammering it, and I'm talking like 60 times throughout that season. Then finally, after 1 game, he had like 5. They upped it to 2.5, and it was like the death of Mason Plumlee. And then he got traded to LA during the playoffs or just before the playoffs. And I was in Phoenix at the game. And I bet a Mason Plumlee double-double because I knew Zubac was going down early or something like that. It's like plus 3,000, plus 3,100, whatever. I bet 100 to win $3,100. And I told my girlfriend at the time, she was with me, I said, if he hits this, I'm buying this jersey. So we found it ahead of time. It's a signed rookie jersey. It's like $400, something stupid like that. And in the stands in the early fourth quarter, he gets a 10th rebound. Just a completely unnecessary play that nobody cared about. And I'm like cheering. She's like, was that it? I was like, yeah. And the guys around me were all obviously, Phoenix fans. And I explained to them what happened. I was like, I hope Phoenix wins because I'm mad that they stole Mason Plumlee from us. And they obviously went on to win. But it was a lot of fun kind of when you hit a bet live, especially something with those kind of odds, there's just nothing like it. So instantly ordered it. It was here when I got home, framed it. Still hasn't got hung up. If he hits an assist tonight, I'll hang it up.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I had a lot of people staring at me oddly at the at one of the New York Liberty games last year when Jonquel Jones got her double in a completely irrelevant moment of the game, and I'm up there screaming, and people are like, "What are you excited about?" But
Yeah, why are you this happy?
if you look across the stadium and you see you see somebody celebrating an odd moment, you know what they're doing.
The same when you can see distraught in someone when they shouldn't be that sad.
Yes,
You're like,
yes.
Right,
we
right.
just lost a bad
Right.
bet.
You're wearing a Knicks hat, your team's up by 20, and you're like sulking in the corner.
Yeah, yeah, we know what happened.
Because Miles McBride played 6 minutes last night.
We're on to you.
MGM, he's minus 110. It looks like minus 115 on 365. So depending on what you have, and they don't have him listed on FanDuel because they're so scared of him cashing so easily. They're not even going to list him. So
Yeah,
find a book, do that, and then thank me later.
love it. Love
Mason,
it.
man, just
Might
love
have
it.
to go buy a jersey with my winnings tonight from playing.
Hey, depending on how much you put on it, you can get something special.
Exactly. All right. Let's keep going. Tom, you got anything on the Clippers side?
Yeah, I just can't get off Kyrie in this series. I know he failed us last time, but I'm going back to him tonight. I'm just going to stick with his points this time. 24 and a half points, minus 108 you can get it for on DK. If you remember the last home game they played, he had that monster game with 40 points. If you look at, he also shot 6. He was 6 for 12 from 3 in that previous home game. In Game 5 in LA, he shot 1 for 7 from 3. Not his normal. He's 41% 3-point shooter this season, and I think 1 for 7. He will do better than that. So I like him at home in this spot. Nice bounce back for Kyrie. Like I said, I posted on X. Luka said Kyrie's really been carrying us. I need to get him more involved. I'm failing him. It ended up being a Luka game last game, but I don't think that changes here, especially back in Dallas. So I love Kyrie.
I will say I reread that quote after our post, and he didn't say anything about I need to get him more involved. He just said I'm failing him. And you and I interpreted that as I'm going to get him the ball, but I think Luka interpreted that as I'm going to go
I need to score more.
I'm going to score 30-something points. So
could be.
Careful how you interpret those quotes because they can definitely mean different things.
Good point.
But regardless, I don't see Kyrie. I agree with you. I don't see Kyrie having a bad game twice in a row, and he really does seem to play really well at home. So I see a good bounce back spot for him. And quite honestly, this is kind of like a game 7 for both teams. I know the Mavs just took the game in LA, but to win back-to-back games on the road would be tough. So yeah. I kind of see the Mavs seeing this as a must-win game for them.
For sure. Yeah.
All right. Anybody else on either side?
Yeah, on Dallas. So back to my role players at home in the playoffs theme here. Let's go with Derek Jones Jr.
Yes.
over 9.5 points. Let's go. Minus 128 on fit. Is that you? Were you on his points as well?
I was. I was a little worried about the 9.5. I kind of liked him if you can get him down to 8. I love that.
It's already up to 10.5 in some books. So yeah. I don't think 8.5 is long gone. I think.
I'll give you a way to play that, but give us your analysis on Derek Jones first.
All right, so he has played 27 plus minutes in every single game since game 2. So just game 1, we'll throw that one out. When he's played 27 plus minutes this season, 22 of 27 games, averaging 13.7 points per game when he gets 27 minutes. I mean, he's played over 30, I believe. A couple times, or at least once, over the last 4 games. So I love this spot for him. Yeah, look at all that green.
Yeah, 81% hit rate with 27 plus minutes. I think it gets better at home. Oh no, it's 78%, but more consistent at home. That's kind of why I liked bringing him down a little bit. He's basically cleared 8 points in every game except for this one against Minnesota earlier in the season. So. I do think he's in a great spot. He's playing really well. He's super aggressive. He's going to the hoop. He's shooting threes in the corner. You're trying to guard Kyrie and Luka, right?
It's going to leave him open.
That's a tough day.
Yeah, that's a tough day. Leaves this guy
Just
open.
want him to leave Kyrie open. Let him shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. See how well that works. if you do want to take him down, the other way you can go with this one is play Derek Jones at 8 points. And you can pair that with another play that we put out last game, Terrence Mann, for 8 points as well. So you can do 8 and 8 for both of those guys. That puts you right around minus 115. I think that's another good spot if you're worried about those guys kind of getting to the full 10 points.
I like that. I like that quite a bit. Are you on Terrence Mann straight up as well?
I don't know. I wanted to discuss it here. So we played him at what do we have him at? 8.5 or 9.5 last game? You remember?
9.5, I want to say.
Yeah. Well, regardless, he cleared it in the first half. It was easy cash. But actually we can take a look at it here on props.cash. So in the first half, he had 11 points in the first half. Second half, he didn't score. So that was my only hesitation about running this back is I don't know if the
was it minutes? It was a blowout, no?
It was a blowout. I mean, he played I guess he only played 11 minutes in the second half and he played 19 minutes in the first half. So I mean, Ty Lue has this like weird thing of like just sitting his team with like 7+ minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
They're down 20 and he just like concedes a playoff game. I'm like, I know you're probably not going to win, but that's just a bad look. But they won't do that tonight, right? They're going to keep their starters out till the end of the game. Maybe a minute or two left. If they're getting blown out, they'll come out. I think he's in a good spot, but I was worried about how his third quarter performance at least looked. He wasn't quite as sharp, and maybe the Mavericks made some adjustments to him. So that's why I think he's in a good spot. He plays really well again with Kyrie out of the lineup, has huge hit rates when he gets 30+ minutes. So I would try that Derek Jones 8 points and Terrence Mann 8 points. I think that's a sneaky little way of kind of getting a little value on this.
I love that. I love that play, Dave.
All right. What else? We got any other plays in this game?
I don't, but I almost was gonna put out a little lean on Harden here. What do we think about Harden scoring tonight?
Tim, any thoughts on the beard?
I'm disinterested in anyone other than Mason Plumlee tonight. Just to add to that, I know this is sounding like a bit, it kind of is, but Mason Plumlee, 4+ rebounds, 4+ points, 1+. So 3.5 points, 3.5 rebounds, 1 assist is plus 400. And that is a very simple stat line for the man. So I'd like to throw that one out there just so they know. That's the 7.5 points plus rebounds, but we're splitting it. And then the 1 assist at plus 400, a $69 bet pays you $345. I may or may not have that in, and I definitely do. But those are literally my only 2 NBA bets for tonight are both on Mason Plumlee.
I mean, you did, in full transparency, you did say this was the Mason Plumlee show before we started, so that's fair.
I did a little bit of NBA research, but with these 2 NHL games, I just was like, Mason's playing, I know what I'm doing, and just moved right on.
Yeah, of course.
No soccer today. I mean, there is soccer today, sorry, but there's no soccer that I'm involved in. The Columbus Crew is in the final of the Champions Cup for CONCACAF against Pachuca June 1st, so we're just riding that high into the MLS weekend. So there's not a lot of soccer to talk about. So
that's kind of nice. That's kind of nice. You like in NBA, it's like you win, you advance to the next round. You have like 3 days to enjoy it. And in soccer, you've got like a whole month to like really enjoy your victory. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, just to rub it in. And you're still playing league play at the same time because it's like separate things. It'd be imagine if the NBA was if the Cavs were in 2 different tournaments right now, or like in the regular season of 1 and whatever. So it can be confusing. I know you guys have been like, what the hell's going on? But it's really enjoyable. The one area that it hurts is when you have a match Saturday like we did, and then we have the match Tuesday. A lot of our starters didn't play in the league match because we stayed for that Tuesday. So they are professional athletes. I feel like they should be able to run a little bit, but it does take a lot out of you. So you lose a bit. So when we're drawing in regular season, when we're in a Champions League, it's really good to see. But fans will be like, why do we keep tying? We need to win. So you're like playing 2 different leagues at the same time, which can be difficult for capping and also difficult as a fan. But when you're winning, like we are, it's super fun.
It's amazing. You're the first person to ever answer what do you think about James Harden tonight with that response.
Got it into soccer. Yeah, if you keep listening, we will end up in soccer all the time. That or Mason Plumlee. So just you know what you're getting.
That's
James
awesome.
Harden, pass.
James Harden pass.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He's too inconsistent. But
I like him, but I'm not.
I was
putting my
looking
money
for
on
a
him.
bounce back spot a little bit, but yeah, I don't know.
I mean, he's had
Hopefully
a
he
good
does
series,
well.
right?
He has.
Other
So-
than that
I
game.
just feel
That
I
last
feel like
game was.
I feel like Paul George looked terrible last game, and I feel like this is kind of a bit of a legacy game for him. Like if he can't go out there and win, without Kawhi, and with James Harden, running the point, like I don't know. I think he's got to go out there and do something. So if I were to go with one or the other, I'd probably go with Paul George, but I don't really like either of them. They're too inconsistent. So
I'm sticking with the Dallas guys.
yeah, stick with Dallas. Dallas is going to win this game. Probably move on.
You know what
All right,
reminds me of, real quick before I move on, is Giannis. Like getting there and then like it just absolutely collapsing with Giannis being hurt or whatever. It's like, can he win? It's always been is he going to be able to get there? He's towards the end of his career. I think they're wasting absolute prime years with Giannis. Going to the playoffs and then it's just getting dog walked by Indiana. If James Harden can't get it done in LA with who he's got, I think that team's got to get blown up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think James Harden really cares.
That he didn't give a shit. That's a problem. He's like, me if I was in the NBA, give me that contract and I stop showing up to practice for sure. I'm sleeping in it.
I think he's living the good life and not putting a lot
Yeah.
of pressure on himself. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, I like the deal.
All right, so that wraps up the round ball section of this podcast.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some ice soccer, as I like to call it.
Little ice, buddy. Yeah, man. If you want to pull up on there, since you already have it, there's 2 games tonight. We've got Vancouver Canucks, which, if you haven't watched, is super fun hockey. It goes through 2 guys, JT Miller, Quinn Hughes. Those guys are what I'm looking at tonight is points. We're just looking at points. The combo of JT Miller and Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes is the quarterback of that team. He's a defenseman, but he is the guy who, during the power play, who sets up. If there's a power play for Vancouver, Quinn Hughes is very likely getting a point. And JT Miller is their, their wide receiver, their skill player, their running back, to put it in an NFL term. So a lot of Quinn Hughes to JT Miller. So a lot of times when you take the 2 of them, 3 players can get a point. Hockey does a hockey assist where the 2 people prior to the goal get credited with assist, which is a point. We love
That's
that.
cool.
So tonight I'm right back at JT Miller and Quinn Hughes. The combo is anywhere from plus 110 to plus 140, depending on what book. In the last 5, they've both Vancouver started really strong in the series, then fell off. But if anybody's going to score for them, which they absolutely need to do, it's going to be those 2. So I'm willing to take the 2 of them, and feel free to combine them with other games too. So you could, if you're like, oh, I like JT Miller because he's 8 out of the last 10 he's hit versus Quinn 6 out of the last 10. You could combine JT Miller with someone like Jack Eichel or James Robinson if we go to the other game, which is Dallas versus Vegas. Should be high scoring. We had a little bit of a fluke here in the last couple playoffs, like last night. No goals. Boston and Toronto, just kind of that series just tanked. Started really strong and fun and just kind of fell off. But look at Eichel. If Vegas scores, Jack Eichel's involved. Like that's just what's happening. So feel free to lump him into anything tonight. But what I'm looking at is Eichel and Robertson in the game. If you combine those 2, you get about similar odds, plus 130, plus 140. But if you look at this dude, Wyatt Johnston, make sure you get the T in there. He is just on a fucking tear and he's got a 3-game point streak. But not only is he just scoring and assisting, he just turned it on. So at minus 140, I could find the place to work him in. But what I really want to do is just look at Eichel Robertson and then look at Quinn Hughes and JT Miller in that game. All 4 will get you probably like plus 400 or 500 if you really want to party. But what I've been doing is just finding the tops from each game and combining them. So like tonight, I'll probably do one ticket, a smaller ticket with all 4, and then I'll probably just do the Quinn Hughes, JT Miller, the Robertson, Eichel, and then I'll do one separate ticket with Miller and Eichel because those are the two guys that are going to be firing. So that's a lot of hockey.
Yeah.
put out probably like my favorite smack in the Discord, but any combo of those I support. And if you really want to get crazy, combine the Mason Plumlee stuff in this and just hope for a beautiful night. I could see like Mason Plumlee assist and a Jack Eichel point at even money or plus money, or it'll be solidly plus money because they just changed Mason Plumlee to -105. So you could definitely sneak some in there.
I was going to point out to you that they're both playing Dallas as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So
it's
just
an
the anti-Dallas
play. Yeah.
I should put that together and see what that looks like. That sounds like a party.
That's going to be really good. That'll be at least plus 200, right? Maybe a little less, but I like that. I mean, this Jack Eichel, he was part of my one parlay that I ever put out in NHL. So really? I am familiar with him.
So they have some other guys. Obviously their team's a really good team. Mark Stone, the captain, has been around for a very long time. Shows up in the playoffs. And then Nashville, we haven't talked about Nashville. The team on the other side that's Vegas, but on the other side of Vancouver, they got some great players too. But these are the guys I just want to focus on because Jack Eichel's involved in everything. You know, they've got other guys like Marchessault and like I said, Mark Stone, and they've got some studs. But Jamie Benn over on Dallas, Jason Robertson also a stud. But just like in this game, stick with the playoff hitter who is Jack Eichel. And Jack Eichel, if you don't watch or haven't watched hockey, is an absolute stud. His transfer out of Buffalo and to Vegas, everything was like one of those LeBron style, you know, taking my talents out of here to go somewhere else where I can win. So there's a lot of hatred for him, but from a hockey standpoint, he gets involved and clearly he produces. You can see on the points.
I like that transfer term too. You brought your soccer terms into hockey as well, right?
Yeah. If you want to talk more soccer, I'm just kidding.
Soccer and Plumlee. We got to get Mason Plumlee to join the Columbus Crew, and then that'll just do everything for you.
The tallest. Our team's very short. Soccer's tough this time of year too, man. As you've seen, like with the Premier League and stuff like that, we're in a weird spot where people are trying to not get relegated with Tottenham, you know, just stuck in the other day, and like MLS is going to be about the only thing here pretty soon. So I think we could talk a lot more soccer here once NBA is over. But you know, I'll be here hitting it, and I'll be putting them out in the Discord.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the hockey picks. That's awesome. I would say also, like when you have 4 plays that are like around -150 to -200, and you love them all, round robin is also another choice, right? You can always put them in a nice round robin. 3 out of the 4 hit, you'd be making some money. So,
yeah, I should check that on FanDuel because I don't know if you can round robin them on 365.
You'd have to do it manually because they're in the same game, but. It's only you're talking about 4 guys. It's not too many not too many combinations. So
yeah.
All right.
365 has been giving a lot better odds than the big name books for hockey specifically. So I'd say just shop around because those plays could be the difference of -110 and +135. Like I've seen that big of a swing.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
So it should be a lot of fun. Either way, this should be a lot of fun to watch. If you don't watch playoff hockey, try it tonight.
All right. Well, that was awesome. Tim, thanks for joining. The energy level definitely goes up when you're here, and we appreciate that very much. But some great picks here. We'll get these up in the Discord. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and let's all make some money tonight.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Amazing.